employers, and with that happening, we're pleased to have the executive director of the Federation of Uganda Employers joining us on NTV at 1, Mr. Douglas Opio. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Rita.
And welcome to NTV at 1.
Thank you so much, Rita.
Now, you are sensitizing people about this, but what exactly are you sensitizing them about? Because I believe a number of people who are watching are in their offices or they're at their desk. They're wondering, what do I not know about compensation?
Now, workers' compensation insurance is provided for under the Workmen's Compensation Act 2000. It's basically a protection for employees against injuries or diseases that they could acquire during the course of their employment. So it's important for employers to insure their workers.
Okay, now when we talk about making sure they insure them, how can they get access to this?
Now, the insurance policies are offered by insurance companies. The regulated and registered insurance companies are available publicly. There is a list with the Insurance Regulatory Authority. The insurance premiums vary depending on the amount of someone's salary, but it can be as low as 0.3% of the wage bill for an employee per month.
You talk about the Workers' Act Compensation 2000. We are in 2019.
You're right.
That was created 19 years ago.
Absolutely.
A lot of things have changed within the workspace. And we do know that there's now a bill within Parliament. What do we seek to see change for the workers?
Now, I speak, of course, for the employers, so I wouldn't speak much from the worker side. The implementation of the policy. We want to see a law that is much more easier to implement, because despite the law being in place, the implementation has not been good enough. So we want to ensure that the law that will come in place will be a law that is easily implementable, that is fair enough to the workers, but also fair to the employers, most importantly, so that compliance can be enhanced.
Okay, and within this compensation, there are things such as accidents while you're at work, on your way to work, things that maybe you might be getting exposed to while you are at work. Do let the people know more about that, because if I am maybe in a factory now.
Now, with the Workers' Compensation Act, you're covered during the course of your employment. Now, your employment doesn't only mean at the premises of the employer. The insurance covers you even when you're coming to work. So from on your way from home to work, as long as you can demonstrate you are actually coming to work, not going to do some other things. So coming to work and even going home. But also, depending on the nature of your job, sometimes you might be sent to work in another place. It's still in the course of your employment. So it covers you throughout. Except when you're not doing work-related stuff. So
if I'm going back home from work,
you're covered.
I am covered. From home to work, I am covered. From work to home?
Yes, you're covered.
It's as long as I'm not at work or on my way or going back home from work.
Assuming you're not going to your other social events. So you'll have to prove that you are actually just going back home and you had left work.
So how does someone get this compensation?
The compensation is paid by the insurance companies. And now that's why it's important for the employers to pay. If I give you an example, for instance, if you get a serious injury that you're permanently incapacitated, God forbid, or you even died, it implies the employer has to pay you 60 times your monthly salary. So that means the employer has to pay you for 5 years. Now assume, for instance, you are earning about 500,000. If the employer has to pay you for 5 years, that's 30 million shillings. But if you were insured, it's just about 0.3%, which would be basically 900,000 shillings. So it's actually quite cheap for the employer, just in case the accident occurred. So it's important for the employer to pay the premiums rather than wait to pay the 30 million. It's 900,000 and then 30 million, a huge difference.
Okay, so this is when we ask the question for those that are watching, has your employer actually paid the premium?
Absolutely.
Are you insured?
Absolutely.
This is when perhaps this afternoon you should walk into your boss's office and maybe ask the question.
Absolutely.
Yes, and where is this sensitization happening for those that would like to be a part of it?
The sensitization is happening at our head office in Chiwanga, just after the industrial area. all employers are basically welcome. But we are also keeping the discussions going. You can check us on social media, on our website as well. You can also call us so that we can engage. We are doing this jointly with the Uganda Insurance Association, so you can equally get in touch with the Uganda Insurance Association.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Douglas Opio. That is quite enlightening. I have been joined by Mr. Douglas Opio, who is from the Federation of Ugandan Employers, and he is the Executive Director. Over to a team of 20 Ugandan trainee engineers who are leaving for a month's training in the Egypt city of Cairo. The problem with the 360 million, it is actually being funded by the Egyptian Engineers Syndicate and the Uganda Engineers Registration Board. The trainee engineers are drawn from UMEME, UETCL, UEGCL, UNRA and KCCA. Mr. Michael Odongo of the Engineers Board is, however, cautioning them against showing off their Ugandan curves around Cairo in light of curves and religious heritage reasons. There has been a lot of national and international sensitization and sensation around the anticipated Miss Curvy contest.